Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to, before we start even, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, for your key to the week, you'll have to forgive the lighting. Unfortunately, the light here in the UK is awful today. So for your key to the week, you have the High Priestess, the intuition speaks, the lady of all that is intangible. Remember, whenever the High Priestess speaks to you, she never speaks in words. She'll never speak in direct actions. She is always through thoughts, impressions, feelings, intuitive nudges and hunches, those gut-wrenching moments where something just feels off or you feel like you're supposed to do something. Whenever we see the High Priestess, yes, this is psychic awareness and phenomena. This is the knowing of something without being told. It's all of those things, right? And when you see this as your key to the week, very often it means that you're about to learn something or be made aware of something that that you didn't know before, or something that you couldn't have known through anything but intuition. It'll be interesting to see how this interacts with your week ahead. For your actions and options this week, you get the Two of Wands. Love it, right? So this is you, all about it. This is about you really setting forward. This is not only about you making finite decisions, this is about you owning your power. It's about you deciding to go down a certain path. And look at this, right? And almost by that intuitive nudge, that intuitive push, you don't really know why 100% you're doing what you're doing or you're following what you're following. You just know that this is what you're supposed to do. This is the place that you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to be going. There's a sense with the Two of Wands as well. I always talk about this meaning affluent situations and people. It can lead you onto massive adventures, you know, taking you to places that you've never been before. It looks like you are looking to tread new ground this week, in some way, shape or form, right? This can be out there in the world. This could be, you know, in here in your spiritual self. Like there's new horizons that are going to stretch and change you in some way, shape or form. For your communications and conversations, you have the Five of Pentacles. This is a week where I will say this to you, right? For you personally, it looks like you're forging ahead with something and things are going well. It does look like if this week you have the inkling about a friend or a family member and you think, oh, you know, I really feel like I need to check in with that person. This is going to be one of those weeks where you get the intuitive nudge or the hunch, and you know that something's wrong with somebody or they're facing some sort of challenge. You phone them, you email them, you message them, and they say, wow, you know what? It's so nice to hear a friendly face, or to see a friendly face. It's so nice to hear a voice that's familiar. Check in with your people this week, because one of them is struggling. One of them is going through a very difficult period. And I believe that there is a part of you that's either meant to help this person or certainly just to listen to them. Sometimes just speaking about the things that we're facing is what makes it feel better, you know, even if nothing can be done with it. This is a week where you're going to really need to pay, not even pay attention, but yeah, pay attention to your hunches and your nudges. This week, if somebody is making a, you know, if you get that hunch, it's always one of those things, you know, like sometimes you think of somebody and then they phone you. This week, there is somebody in your midst, a friend, a family member, maybe even a co-worker or a colleague that is struggling and they're going to need your help. For your money and materials, you have the Queen of Swords. This is you, right? This for me is Libran energy. And the fact that you have this in your money and materials, look at that, right underneath the Two of Wands. Now, there may be something this week that you have to justify the finance for. So it may be something that you want to do, or somewhere that you want to go, or a trip that you want to plan, or a big purchase that you want to make. And it's kind of like this week you're going to have to find some way of justifying it. I don't feel like somebody's going to say to you like, oh, you know, you can't do that or whatever, but you are going to have to reason with it. Remember, the Queen of Swords is about what you are prepared to fight for, what you're ready to go to war for. Sometimes it can be somebody that you battle against, and it kind of feels like someone's kind of saying to you, is this the best thing for you? Is it the most sensible thing for you to do? And there's a part of you that's like, well, I just feel like I'm supposed to be doing this. And you could have like a naysayer in your midst. And it's like there's a part of them that's kind of not trying to hold you back, but trying to keep your feet on the ground. And this week you've got that Queen of Swords, which is kind of like, well, you know, this is my money. I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. Just think about the reason that somebody's asking you for something, because it's coupled here with the Five of Pentacles, which makes me wonder if whatever big purchase or big item you're going for, I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm just not sure that it's the best use of your resources at this moment in time. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this, I'm sorry to say, would be a week where you want to get a second opinion. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, but if you get a diagnosis on something and you think, not sure that resonates, get a second opinion. So if you've got a checkup or you've had some sort of news or information come to you and it doesn't necessarily feel right, this would be a week where you go for a second opinion. When it comes to your home and environment, there could be a bit of a tussle with the neighbours this week. So, and with these cards, as we've seen, if you haven't seen it, please check out your November 2020. You could kind of go a little bit overboard this month. All right, you could really let someone have it and not, you know, maybe you didn't expect to do, you know, to go as far as you did or to speak as harsh as you did, but it can happen. For your love and relations, you have the Ten of Wands. For those of you that are single, are you done with fixer-uppers yet? All right, it kind of feels for me like there's going to be, sometimes you meet someone and you think, this person's wonderful, but there's just so much work to be done there. And, we're all works in progress. It's not to say that, and I hope I don't sound sort of like egotistical or mean or whatever, but sometimes you get to a point in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm done fixing other people. I want somebody in my life that is already at a certain stage or a certain caliber. I'm done pulling people up to my level. I'm done fixing other people to get them to a certain point. And I kind of feel like this will be that week. You could meet somebody or be connecting with someone and you could come to that realization that, you know what, we're just on very different pages at this moment in time. For those of you that are partnered or in a relationship, I kind of feel like you and your partner are battling over finances this week. One of you wants to move ahead with a certain plan. The other one of you is kind of like, I'm not sure we can financially justify this at this moment in time. Open up a dialogue about it. And if I'm honest, because you've got the Ten of Wands here, very often the Ten of Wands can represent something that you've got to say that somebody isn't necessarily ready for. So you could be calling a partner out on their finances this week, or their financial outlook or their financial health, if you want to call it that. And it could be kind of like, oh, okay, okay, where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? Like, it could just be a little bit of a point of contention this week. So just be aware of it. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.